being here. Welcome to this mentoring session as part of the interactive talk. We are very pleased to have with us a very successful entrepreneur, Sunil Jain. He's very well from the region, and he's the CEO of Net Solutions. Has a great base in the US market, has done pretty well with some very big names. We'll be hearing from him how his story of growth has been. And most importantly, he's a Thai charter member and has done great initiatives in building the chapter as well. We thank you, Sunil, for being here. And we'll start off with you and we'll take over the small interactive session.
Thank you. Hi everyone. Could we send over the kind of people who are here? I know you but what kind of people do we have here?
We have just have a quick introduction starting from
Shatish Mehra. I'm running an organization which is into career counseling of students. We deliver education in schools, colleges. We get them what all career options they can pick up as per their psychology.
I'm Devanshu. I'm having a startup of my own. I'm into websites. I fund all that. So kind of thing you do.
I think I've seen you on my Facebook.
Yeah.
I'm currently one of the incubators at the Punjab Product Incubation Center.
Oh really? Okay. Cool.
I'm Karan. I'm running a travel agency for Chandigarh.
Okay.
So we normally deal with those holiday packages, ticketing, and those are
I was working earlier, but now I am actually preparing for my GMAT.
Excellent.
That is it.
I think so we've met once.
Yes.
My name is Sajid. I'm currently a charter member of TAI. Also, I'm working with Zscaler. It's basically into cloud security. So I'm handling their marketing as well as sales operations. Soon I'll be moving
Now I
to
remember
TAI.
it.
Yeah.
Myself, Rajiv Roy. I'm from the newspaper called Daily Post, which is going to be launched.
CNN.
I'm taking care of business and economic part.
I'm Bhavna again
Sales
from the Daily Post. I'm the business reporter.
I'm Deepak Datta. I have a company in the US and we just opened a branch office here.
Okay, excellent.
Myself, Mahesh. I have started with startups in IT space and other space, and I'm interested in IT startups, especially products.
Right, okay. So what would you want me to talk about, everyone? Is there something specific that you would want me to talk about?
Tell us your success story you would like to inspire from your success story. How did you start, from where did the idea come, the problem, challenges you have faced, and the road ahead?
Okay. So yeah, I mean, from my perspective, when we talk about success and my success story, I don't really think I'm successful, to be honest. I think I've just done better. It's just a relative term. So I think there's a long way to go. But where I started really, I mean, there might be things that we have entrepreneurs here, so maybe they find something useful there. But I was a regular guy. I mean, I was doing something that I didn't want to do, right? So I started. I had a hobby. The internet was my hobby many years ago, in 1998 or so, in 1997, when internet was just launched in Chandigarh. I remember I took a connection, cost me 15,000 rupees, and my computer cost me 75,000, 80,000. Then HCL BCP, really expensive. And so I spent a lot of money just chasing my dreams, so just doing something that I like to do. And I didn't really start this off like a business at all. It was more like a hobby for me. And I don't think we had the kind of mentorship or things like that happening. So it was quite different at that time. And I was just doing what I wanted to do because I wasn't really happy what I was doing, which was more of my family business and everything like that. And I guess things just started from there. I started a portal for Seek India many years ago, and the day I put it up, the next day I had an inquiry from Canada saying, "Hey, I'm looking for this in India. Can you find out if it's available?" I mean, those days search engines were really good, right? You put something online, register, next day your site is being indexed. So I was like, how did that happen? And I'm sitting here, and I was in Panchkula at that time, a very small place, and I was indexed by a search engine called InfoSeek. And I said, this is amazing. You can sit here and be a part of a larger thing, which is the internet. So that kind of excited me. I always knew that it was the internet and you didn't have to be in that small place. In Chandigarh really was a small place, Chandigarh was even smaller. And yet you didn't think you fit in there, and the internet comes along and you become part of a bigger picture. So that was really exciting. So really things took on from there. I started getting inquiries, some people saying, hey, you built this site for yourself, Seek India for yourself. Do you think you can do some design for us, do some development for us? And I was like, sure, I'll do it for you. And I was the only person who was doing it. So I started doing it. And you know, at that time, I think this was more like a hobby. And I wanted to make sure I got that 90,000, 1 lakh rupees back. And I was like, why did I spend so much money? And what did I do? Someone knew how to fix computers, so like internet connections, and people, because they knew it was the internet, and I had a lot of people walk into my office and say, oh really, so is this that good? Can you find out what this company is doing in Australia, for example? And they would come and use my printer and take a lot of printouts and just disappear. And I was like, what the hell? So I started actually going and fixing internet connection in people's homes, you know. So I said, well, if you're going to ask me to come there, I'm going to charge you money. That'll be $500, and $500 is a lot of money, right? So, and they paid me for it. I was like, wow, this is amazing. So I said, okay, well, it's just going to cost you $750. And they said, man, this is so expensive, but we still do it. I'm like, this is amazing. So I was earning like 10,000, 15,000 rupees a month, which was brilliant. I was like, oh, this is awesome. So I was kind of, you know, it started becoming a sustainable business, right? So there were people who were asking me to do stuff, and then there were people who were, you know, I was going and fixing computers. So it kind of became sustainable, which was good for me because I wasn't really trying to ask people for money, or I wasn't really justifying to anybody what I was doing, right? So I think things really took on from there, and my first break came when one of my clients, a new guy who contacted me, he said, I want you to do some programming for us. And I was like, I had one guy who was a data entry guy at that time, who was an MCA, by the way. And he was a data entry guy. I was paying him like 25,000 rupees or so. And I think 3,000 rupees. And he was very good, by the way. So he said, I'm going to teach you programming. I said, sure, what do you want to do? And he said, Code Fusion. So we didn't know what that was. And I said, how are you going to pay me? I'll pay you by the hour. I said, okay, how much will you pay me? He said, $15 an hour. And I was like, okay, and how do you bill by the hour? He says, well, just keep track of your time and then tell me. I said, that's it? That's it. He's like, this can't be real. You know, I'm here as a guy, I'm paying 3,000 rupees, and this guy is probably paying me something that I will recover in 1 day. So I said, okay, great. And so he actually taught us, and we started building websites. And our first major client, and there are small, iffy clients, but our first major client was someone called General Motors. And I mean, that was like a surreal moment for me. And the moment that you kind of believe that, okay, I'm basically from Ambala. So I always used to think about myself as a guy from Ambala, right? And that, you know, Ambala is even smaller than Panchkuta. Right? So I was like, what is a small town guy doing here, building apps and websites for General Motors? That was totally surreal, absolutely surreal. But I was getting paid for it. And my first check that came in, the postman just threw it, and I didn't even know that my check had come. And somebody said, oh, there's a letter lying outside, and I opened it, and it was a $1,000 check. I was like, wow. So it was interesting, and I think it was, for me at that time, I was the lesson to be learned here is that I wanted to do what I wanted to do. I think that kind of helped. I didn't think I was doing anything exceptional. I wasn't trying to make a business, and I feel a lot of people with business plans, and a lot of, with due respect to MBAs here, who have business plans. I didn't have a business plan. I still don't have one, right? So it didn't matter to me. I was just following my heart, so it kind of worked for me. And then when money did come in, I had already invested money, and I was just trying to make sure it was sustainable, right? So it wasn't about earning money, and I don't think I ever counted the money. I didn't have a balance sheet. I didn't even care. I mean, as long as it was net positive, I had money to pay to my employees. That was good. So I kind of grew from there, really. We were in Panchkuta, so I remember we were in a very small room, and nobody wanted to open it. And And the reason why I had the name for Net Solutions was because nobody knew what internet was. It was a very generic name. So today people tell me, man, that's a really crappy name. Why did you keep that name? I'm like, I don't know. I mean, I just thought about it 12 years ago. What do you reckon? It is what it is. So it's kind of, so we were in that small room and, nobody wanted to work. And I used to call people, their parents actually, I used to call them. Parents used to say, no, you can't work for a institution. You should go work for Pugmarks. I'm like, I used to call their parents and say, why are you telling your child not to work for me? I mean, we work for General Motors. What the hell? We can do some good work. And so, I remember somebody's parents, and I remember, the name. His name was Siddharth, and his mother said, man, you must go work for this guy. So he's actually called me, and he seems really passionate. So that's how we built the team. Then I got really lucky because a girl who joined us, her boyfriend was in Panchkula, so it kind of worked out. She was in PC, brilliant developer. She actually used to sit on my chair because we didn't have chairs in the office. She used to sit on my chair, and I used to sit. I said, no, don't worry. Use my chair. Program. Okay, that's what you're supposed to do. So those were the early days, and I think then it just gets easier after that. Went into a bigger office. But the lesson here, I would say, is that at every point in our journey, we were investing money into our business. We were not really scared because we weren't really looking at the dollars coming in. We just didn't care. As long as it was sustainable. So when I moved to my next office, everyone was crazy. You really want to leave that office? Yeah. I mean, I don't need it. And from Panchkula, we probably had about 20 people in Panchkula, and then we moved to Chandigarh because we weren't really finding people. A lot of people said, I can't go to Panchkula. It's a diverse journey. People like that brand that you're in Chandigarh, right? So we went into PEC, and that was good as well. We invested a lot of money getting into PEC from that office. Again, we did it. We spent a lot of money. My family used to say, man, you're crazy. Why are you doing this? I mean, are you really going to leave that office? You spent so much money, and that was just 2 years ago. I'm like, yes, I need to go. So we spent all that money there, and likewise when we came to the IT park, we were the first persons to sign on, and had a lot of things about IT park. Why do you want to go to the IT park? It's too far, and girls would be unsafe there. They can't come there. And a lot of girls in the office said, you're not going to go work there. I'm like, no, there's no other place for me to be in. I mean, it has to be that place. I have always sold the idea to my team that we're going to be there. It's like fantastic. Look at real life, what it gives you. So, we were investing at all times, we're investing back in the business. So, I think that's kind of important that we were always really looking to invest, and now we're actually building our own campus site, which is massive in scale compared to what we are. It's just the scale is completely different. I mean, we're about 175 people at the moment. That's for 500 people. On campus side. Here, I see a lot of people in Solutions. So they can, we have a small sort of a conference room in small areas, but that's a paradigm shift in terms of what we're doing. So I guess the journey has been like that. I mean, so, the defining moments really, for us, I think, have come to the sort of the inflection points when we got our first client, and we moved from Panchkula to Chandigarh. That sort of gave us a nice brand, and we were in BC, and then when we came to the IT park, that it gave us an even bigger brand, So it's like funny. I mean, a lot of people came to work for us just because they said they'll get married easily because they're working in the IT park. So it's great, and you kind of ride on that and say, okay, great, whatever, And now it's going to be, and the office is behind emphasis. You see, you're just behind. So it's kind of crazy, right? So you kind of sell those ideas to people and give them the belief, and I think. I think the idea really is to do things which are right, to do things which you should be doing, which you should not really bother about, things like, hey, where is my money going to come from, where is that going to happen? I mean, those things happen if you just do the right thing. I mean, you have to do what you have to do. So that's really my story. I mean, there isn't much to it, to be honest. It's just been a long journey, coming from where I was. And if you put things in perspective, yes, I mean, there's a long sort of journey that we've had. However, like I was saying, success is really relative. I don't think I'm happy yet, because I don't think we've done that thing which is change the world. We've not built a product. We've not built something that's really exciting. We're a services company. People like to call it sweatshops, right? I mean, so it's not sweatshops, right? We've got really fancy air conditioning in our office, but at the end of the day, that's what we're doing, and we're not changing the world. We're not building something really exciting. And I think that, for me, I think I'm more like an accidental entrepreneur. But I think when I actually take that real risk about building a product and setting things out, and we actually make a difference, that's like following a dream for me. That's when the real success, I think, will come in, when you kind of build that something really exciting, or build that even service where you would like count it as a top 10 in the world, not like a top 10 in Chandigarh or top 10 in Haryana, Punjab. That makes no sense. It makes absolutely no sense. So that's really what it is.
When did you get your first client? Year, do you remember?
Yeah, 2000.